Right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So lovely to have you all on tonight. I'm really, really excited about offering what I have to say tonight. And I've asked two other people to come on and just share a little bit from their heart. And so first of all, just two quick announcements. So the business event, we'll just keep reminding you each time. So October the 20th and 21st is the business event up in Manchester in a Concord building. So that's going to be interesting and very fun and exciting. We've got the dance that first night. So we've got the gala on the Friday night. So really, really good event. Lots of business things happening. And there's a secret guest coming that I may or may not reveal at some point. So it's really exciting. We've got someone coming that's just confirmed they're going to come, that I know everyone will be very excited about. It's not me or Nathan. I mean, we are coming, but we're not the secret guest. So I will let you know so soon. Then we have this month's guest speaker who's coming on the 4th Monday is Melody. So she's a presidential diamond from Hungary. Lovely lady. She actually doesn't really love presenting, but she's come on to do a favor. So it'd be quite nice to hear about a presidential diamond who doesn't like the spotlight. She doesn't like being at the front presenting. So it's really cool to hear different people and how they got to be successful. So she's going to come on and share with us. So first of all, before I start sharing what I want to share with you, I want to introduce Natalie Harris. Some of you may know her already, the infamous Natalie Harris. We've spoken about her a lot, and some of you may not if you're a bit newer to our team. And welcome tonight, by the way, if it's your first time tonight too, welcome to the team. Natalie actually introduced me and my mother-in-law, so Becky, to the business many years ago, so about 9 years ago. I won't go into the story too long because it will take up the whole call. But Natalie is one of the reasons why I decided to do the business. It was her heart, her passion, her belief in the oils, the company, the compensation plan, that I just, sometimes at the beginning you hook yourself onto someone. Natalie was that person for me. She's got such a big heart, and I just wanted her to come on and share some wisdom, because when you've done doTERRA for a while, you get quite a bit of reflection and wisdom, and you learn and you evolve. One of the things Natalie told me at the beginning was doTERRA is like the biggest personal development course you'll ever go on. I remember thinking, yeah, right. What do you mean? It's just a business. I'm sure, you might go through some challenges, but I didn't really take much heed because I'm someone that's always quite enjoyed a bit of a challenge in my life. And oh my goodness, doTERRA has sometimes brought me to my knees in a good way, a finding way to find myself and reevaluate things and develop myself. And I've really realized the importance of personal development and mindset. And I just wanted Natalie to kind of share her viewpoint on this. So Natalie, I'm now going to pin you. So hopefully, there we go. Perfect.
I'm starting my timer so I can watch it so I don't go long, because I could talk hours. First of all, let me tell you that the personal development never ends. And I actually think that whatever it is you choose to do in life, that will be your course of development, right? The things that show up for you. And I had made a confession before you all got on to Becky. I'm a business entrepreneur and I love to make things work. And so I don't just do doTERRA, I do real estate. I consult people who are having first-time businesses. I just started a solar company during COVID. But I really had gotten to a point with doTERRA where it was hard for me to even think about it because I had no idea how to lead anybody to be successful in the business, I thought. And then they invited me to, so I was still actively working with all of my people, and nobody really knew those feelings. It was just me grappling with my inside. And then Becky and Nathan invited me to Game Changers with Devin Bandison. I get emotional, but there are no words. There are no words how that one single event changed my life. And one of the things that you learn in the process is that the good news is, for any problem, I'm it. And I mean, that's kind of the bad news, but the good news is I'm also the solution. And that hit me really hard. So many facts, like I made a Trello board. I don't know if you know what a Trello board is, but I made an entire Trello board after I left that event. One of the things that really struck me is he talks about the actual vibration that you leave when you enter a room. And I thought, man, you know what? I had kind of become Doubter Debbie. And anyway, I just want to say, because of going, and you're going to think this is a commercial for Game Changers, but it's not. And you just need to know that I've done workshops with Byron Katie, like 5.5 years worth of Joe Dispenza. If you can name somebody and they do a workshop, to Anthony Robbins, I have been there. I have done it. I live for those things. And I don't even know, I believe in the perfection of timing, and maybe it was because I had done those things. But Devin took a hold of my heart and held it. And then I left like on fire. And you know how you leave something and you don't really do anything about it? This was different. I absolutely did do the things. And then Bex hooked me up with Jess. And once you decide to choose you, everything changes. And I'm just going to go through really fast to give you some ideas. So my entire life, I have been an incredible manifester because I got the personality, I got the stars aligned, I got all the things where I am a freaking workhorse. I am the farmer's daughter. I will make something happen if I have to get up at early in the morning and go to bed late at night. But that isn't necessarily so joyful. And what Jess kept preaching, she would say, yeah, but we're going to collapse time and we're going to do it in love and happiness. I'm like, oh, right. And when are we going to do that? Well, I just wanted to tell you, I started working on me and I started noticing my emotions about, that's another thing Devin talked about, was don't let your emotions get in the way of who you want to be. And I am so freaking emotional. They were guiding me all over the freaking place. And I was able to go, Natalie, I don't care what you're feeling right now. This is the goal. And where's the happiness? And just kind of evaluating all the things along the way, like moment by moment in the here now, whether I'm with my grandbaby or I'm getting off the phone with a doTERRA leader, whether I'm consulting, just what are my feelings going on and why do I feel that way? But how do I really want to feel? And I can choose in any moment to be, which is the magic, to be whatever it is I want to be. But then I got all confused, like, well, how do I even know what that looks like if I'm not that? So I did Jess's stuff. And first, I'm going to tell you a really big miracle. It was like the third lesson with her. And because you guys are off time, I don't always do it on the same time. And she started, and I was thinking, oh, should I really be paying $200 a month for this coaching? Because I coach other places. And the first thing she said in the coaching for that week was, are you doubting your investment here? And I thought, oh. And then I listened to everything she said. I started over from the beginning. That day, I had decided I really wanted to have more fun and I wanted to rent a lake house in Flathead, Montana. I'd sent all the money. The people called me back and they said, you know what, Natalie, a family wants it for the entire summer. Is there any way you would let them have it for the summer? And we'll give you a great deal next summer. And my heart was just kind of low. That night I went to dinner, and at dinner, this is how life works when you are in the flow and you are doing the happy moment by moment. I sat with some friends and he told me how he really needed to sublet his apartment in Manhattan for 1 month. And if you'd asked me if I wanted to go to New York City for a month, I would have said, yeah, probably not. But the more he talked and the more I tried to help him problem solve, my heart was on fire. And I knew, and I just said, I'm going to do it, Steve. I'm going to sublet your apartment. And he says, yeah, but it's this much money. And I said, Steve, we know that money isn't actually the thing here. And I went, and in that month in New York, I was by myself in New York City with no car, just completely different space. And I'm just going to tell you, I was able to read a lot of things. I walked Central Park. I attended all kinds of plays. The whole world was so incredibly beautiful. But it was this time and space that was allowed me because I had chosen it, because I had decided to work on myself. One of the things I fell in love with, this is just another, for example, of miracles. I fell in love with the city bikes. They're electric. And like, you barely pedal. You are not exercising. You barely pedal and you're whizzing all over the park and you're just like in it, right? And So I decided in the taxi on the way to the airport that I was going to get an electric bike. And I'm on my phone while I'm on the drive, and I didn't know that they were like $2,000. I'm thinking, freak, $2,000 for an electric bike. Just so you know, I have $2,000 for an electric bike, but you know how it hits you when you find the price of something. So I go in and we're sitting and we're waiting, we're waiting to go. And I don't know if you remember, but all those fires, smoky fire came in and they canceled 6,500 flights. So they needed somebody to get off the flight, and nobody was getting off. So first they offered $1,000, and they offered $1,200, and they offered $1,800, and then they offered $2,000. And I was like, if that is not the freaking universe saying, here, Natalie, you can have your electric bike, I don't know what it was. So I'm just telling you, those are the kind of things that happen in the flow. I did not need $2,000 for that bike. I didn't need it. But when I started choosing myself and in the now, in the moment, I fell back madly, deeply in love with every single person on my doTERRA team. And for me to say that out of my mouth, that's a big deal, because I didn't love everybody so much. Because after you've worked with some people for 10 years, they still have the same hangups and you still have the same hangups. And sometimes they just still collide. Everything's changed for me. Whatever your course of action is, you follow Bex. I'm telling you, if she wants to talk about hooking your star to a wagon, you've hooked it in the right place. And so here's the other thing. I was in need of filling 2 spots, and just so you know, over COVID, I was a duct tape diamond instead of a solid diamond with no buy-in, and I just wanted to change that. While I was in New York, following my heart with my heart on fire, I found 2 new builders, real builders, like people who are calling me, and I am not dragging them everywhere just because I was being me. And that's it. Okay, I love you. I took way too long. I'm sorry, Bex, but work on you.
Thank you, Natalie. Let me just remove pin. Thanks, Natalie. Oh, you're still pinned on mine.
I'm going to go off camera because I have 5 grandbabies under 5 with me.
Thanks, Natalie. I really appreciate that. So I got Natalie to speak at the beginning because of her grandkids running around in the house. So I just asked Natalie to come on really and just share why she thought working on herself was really important. We're going to come around to that at the end of the call again. She mentioned something called game changers, which I will mention at the end, but that's not what the call is about. I'm just going to share my screen now. That's wonderful, Natalie. Thank you. Okay, so tonight I really wanted to talk about helping to find the motivation in yourself and in those you are leading. So obviously everyone on this call is at different stages of the business. And I know that whatever stage you're at, sometimes it's hard, whether it's just you, then it feels a bit lonely sometimes, and you're having to motivate yourself. And for some of us that have been doing it like 9 years, like Natalie and myself and some others as well, you can get a bit kind of done sometimes. We're trying to motivate and inspire others, which is why the personal development is so, so important. And I've just learned over my journey, it's all kind of come together. This last kind of year for me, I feel like I've learned a lot of things, and I felt so re-inspired and really intentional about how I want to build my business going forwards. And it's going to be a bit different to how I've done it in the past. And I pulled out the real key things that I've been working on for the last kind of 6 months that I wanted to share with you all, that I feel are going to make a massive impact. If you focus on these things, then it will help you to build a business from the beginning, or from what point you are at now, that's going to feel really inspiring, motivating, and not draining, which sometimes I know sometimes it can feel like, right? So we want to avoid the drain so we can really help ourselves and others more. So first of all, remove those pictures up there. Okay, so finding your purpose. For me at the start, my purpose was a big one. It was a really big one. And like many of you, it was highly financially based. Okay. I was a mother of 3 young children. I was done being that mum that was always counting the pennies, never been able to buy lunch on the go. You know, we always had to make our packed lunch before, and we couldn't go and buy ice creams. Other mums seemed to treat their kids to. I had to go to the supermarket and get the ice creams to share out. And, you know, having that worry of money each month. And actually we were going into debt each month, and we had kind of heavy debts from that were already hanging over us. And then we were going into more. And I just really remember thinking that I am more than this. My family and myself, we deserve more than this. I know there's more for me. And this is when I came across doTERRA. So it was like a perfect timing. I really felt like it really came to me. So at the start, it often is financial, and for many of you, it will be financial. And the key part of this is for it to be a purpose, though, for it to be big enough to help you really stay motivated and really be able to share with your heart and really be able to overcome those rejections that obviously do come, and sometimes the monotony, and sometimes those classes where people don't show up. You need to have a big purpose. And it's more than just a why. I feel like the purpose is the thing that, you know you've got it when you're like so excited. Sometimes you can't sleep at night and you wake up and you're just like buzzing from it, and you just know you're on the right path. And this is definitely how I felt at the beginning, when I was really seeing the potential that, oh my goodness, this is a vehicle that can help us get out of debt and help create the quality of life that I'm looking for. So money on its own, from my experience and from seeing others as well, is not enough. It's not enough. It's the meaning that you make the money be, okay? It's what the money brings to you. It's what that's going to create in your life. Those are the things you want to get really clear about and really feel them and really imagine them and really embody them. Write them down, like create what you're going forwards to get, create this incredible future that you're in the process of building. That's your purpose. And for those of you, I'm going to call you more experienced builders, ones that have been doing it for a longer time, often your purpose will evolve as well. And that's what I certainly found. So when the money becomes a bit, it's coming more, and you're starting to see that the money is coming, and that your dreams that you had at the beginning are there, they're within reach, you're on the path, then that's when I invite you, if this is you, to really start to really ponder now, what is your deeper purpose? Because there will come a time when you'll reach your financial goals. And that's actually sometimes when you can lose that drive, you can lose that sense of purpose. And so you want to really start looking at what is your mission in this life? Like what is it that you really feel passionate about? What is the bigger picture? So besides the initial purpose that you had and have when you come into doTERRA, as you get further along your journey, think about what is the thing that suits your personality, that lights you up, that you're really passionate about, and that doTERRA is going to be that vehicle for you. So for me, for example, so it started off financially. And it was a year ago when I went to the Game Change, and I'll speak a little bit more about that at the end. When I was a bit lost with it, I couldn't find my real purpose. Yes, I loved the oils. Yes, I loved serving people. And I couldn't really connect what my real purpose and vision was. And it hit me like a lightning bulb in convention in Lisbon. And it's gone to that fireplace again that I had for those first 3 years of building the business, where I was so on fire within me, that burning fire that's just unstoppable, that that there's absolutely nothing that can get in between you and achieving your vision, whatever that is, whether it's to help 3 other people become diamond, if it's to share the oils with just as many people as you possibly can, and you're not even attached to the outcome. If that's your vision, then, if it's burning inside of you and becomes unstoppable, that's when you know you're on the right path and nothing will stop you. And again, you know, my vision's changed. I'm back at that place now where I have that burning inside of me. And I really have been working on this for the last year, trying to really find my new passion and my new purpose. And it is now, I've seen it, and doTERRA is the vehicle for it. It's to bring peace to others by empowering them, by educating them, and that leads to them feeling liberated. So that is my vision. And I want to do that to everyone, no matter what. I'm unattached to the outcome. I want to share what I can with everyone. And doTERRA is a huge part of that. And another part of it for me is nutrition. And there's some other things I'm passionate about that will come into that I'm now, you know, just walking around being that person. I just can't wait to be able to talk to someone about it. And it's not like I have to even like put my doTERRA hat on anymore, like I have perhaps in the past, and gone out and thought, right, today I'm going to share with 2 people, which was a really good intention to have at the beginning. Now it's kind of become me. So that's when you really know again that you're in line with your purpose, when it becomes you, and it's just natural then. And then when you're sharing with people, it doesn't ever feel forced, and you're just sharing naturally. Okay. So the next thing, once you've identified your purpose, and like I said, this can change along the way, you then need to have clear goals. So your purpose is the driving force behind why you then set your goals. And I suggest you have your initial goals. If you find yourself unmuted, then yeah, mute yourself. And Michelle, if you can find the people that come unmuted, thank you, that would be great. Yes, your initial goal, so the more kind of achievable goal, you want to have that. So kind of what is your next goal? And then you also want to have what your long-term goal is. So something that you really, that's the game-changing goal for you, the one that's going to bring you fulfilling your purpose probably, or enable you to live that quality of life you want. Whereas the initial goal is something more achievable. When you're doing these goals, I want you to really be like, look at them. I invite you to look at them and look at what they mean. So again, make it into a meaning rather like the money thing. See what does that goal mean? Like, what does it mean to be an elite? What does it mean to be a civil? Like as an elite, you know, if your purpose is aligned with sharing the oils, which I think lots of us are, then how many people would you have to have shared with to get to elite? So rather than thinking of, you know, you obviously need to think of the strategy, how many people you need, the volume, 3,000 volume. Think about it like, wow, that's so many families that I would have helped with, you know, and I'm also a third of the way to silver. And what does that mean? You know, really get the meaning and the feeling into you so that you're not so attached to the little steps. I mean, you always praise yourself for the little steps, and you're not looking at each little step going, oh, I just want to be up there. Because once you have that clear goal and you've got your purpose, you know that each step you're taking is taking you one step closer to that goal, which is aligned with your purpose. So that's the other thing with setting your goals. You really want to look at your goals and just check they are aligned with who you are. So ask yourself that question, because sometimes we can get carried away, can't we, with seeing what other people in the team are doing and uplines, downlines, cross lines, and think, oh, that's what I want. And actually, perhaps that's not what you want. And maybe it's the ego telling you that's what you want. Or perhaps it's just not your time to be going for that. And maybe you're really happy just where you are even. So just be real with yourself as well. Because if they're fake goals that you're just trying to convince yourself to do, then you're not going to get there. So purpose, then your goals. Okay, so once you've got that, then's the time to really get clear. You want to see a really clear path, and it needs to be as simple as possible and exciting for you. You know, it might not be the same path as someone else that you've seen do the business. This, remember, doTERRA is a very specific to you business. So it's very important at the start. So if you are at the start, then just absorb as much as you can from your upline. If you get cross lines as well, you know, absorb from people that you're inspired by in the business. Yes, spend a bit of time looking at some online resources and, let your upline help guide you to some really good ones. So don't get carried away with looking and hunting too much, is my suggestion as well, because you can get a little bit lost and overwhelmed. But learn those basics, learn that intro class, learn the sampling. Yes, in the future, you might decide sampling isn't for you, and you might decide to do a different class, but they are the key things that you need to go through to be able to then choose to be able to evolve into your own business. So learn the how, so do those basic things. And then you want to, once you evolve from that, so once you've done those basic things, you then want to just start thinking and really visualizing how you're going to get to that goal. Like, how are you going to find those 3 builders? Like, what are the ways that are going to be exciting for you? So your path to your goal needs to be filled 80% with the things that you really enjoy. So if you're someone that just thrives off being online and you just love being on your computer and designing these incredible pictures and posters, get on that and send that everywhere and find out where you're going to be the most seen, and get in touch with those influencers. And and if you're more of a live person, then get out there and make sure you're meeting people and you're not behind, like limit the time you're behind your computer. Don't get sucked into thinking I have to design all these things before I go out and share. Just get those basic things down that you need to do, and your upline can help you with those, and go and do what's your personality, what's going to excite you the most. Now, obviously, there are some things that you're not going to be really excited about in the business. There are some things that are necessary that we all have to do that we probably wouldn't absolutely love to do. And that's okay. You need to do those too. That's like the 20%. That 80%, you want to be enjoying your business. So, if you're not enjoying your business, then don't think, oh, doTERRA is not for me. I think doTERRA is for most people. Like, there might be some people that really just don't like essential oils, then it's probably not for them. But if you like the essential oils, then you're gonna like doing doTERRA, because you can just make it into whatever you want to make it into. Now, again, if you're an experienced builder, so you've been doing this for a while, my suggestion is, because often we can get caught into these habits that could have worked for a while, and some maybe haven't even worked for a while, but we've got so used to doing them that it becomes our way of doing the business. So what I've really learned, and I've changed quite a few of the things I've done, and it's taken some time for me to realize, is to slow down and have some space, like even daily, just a bit of reflection time, weekly for sure, and definitely monthly, looking at all the stuff you're doing and really challenge yourself and go, Bex, was that my most effective use of my time? Like, is that me in my zone of genius? Because if I'm not in my zone of genius, I'm not going to be attracting the amount of people I really could be if I step out there and I go into what I'm really good at. So really start to look at what you're doing and just spend a bit of time thinking. I used to just be a real doer, which has gotten me so far, and it's been great, and a bit like Natalie was saying. And now building so much more peacefully and in a way that really excites me so much more is just taking that time to really evaluate and think, actually, for me, this is what feeds my soul, and this is how I'm going to attract people more, because I'll just become more magnetic because I'm doing what I love. Again, a word of warning, just focus on a few things. Don't focus on too many things. Catch yourself if you're trying to do too much, because you're probably not going to be doing anything really well then. Our success is directly related to our clarity and honesty about who we are, who we're not, where we want to go, and how we're going to get there. Really good quote, sums that up. Okay, next step. So don't spend too long in that thinking stage. Obviously, you work out your systems, and if you're a new builder, then I recommend getting going as soon as you can, because it is the quickest way to learn. I've got a brilliant example of a new builder that's just come on with me, and I'm loving spending time with her, teaching her everything, because she's pretty much asking for everything all the time. It's brilliant. She's getting out there. And because she's coming across it and going, oh, I don't know how to do this. I've just shared this and I don't know how to do this. And, and she's just doing it, and she's doing amazingly. and she's learning, and as she's going, and she's going to grow much more quickly because of that, because you'll learn very quickly what to do, and also sometimes what not to do, right? So it's the quickest way, and it's the quickest way of removing any limiting thoughts or fears, any uncomfortableness. Just get out there and do it. Remind yourself why you're doing it. And like I said here, just make sure it's the right type of action. So for those of us that have been doing it a bit longer, it's no point just going out there and doing loads of action when we're not really getting the results. If you're not getting the results, that's when it's time to come back, have a little think, maybe ask your friends and family what they think you're really good at, if you've kind of lost perhaps what that could be for a moment. Sometimes we do, right? Okay, create systems. See if I covered everything. Systems here. So I'm not very techie. Have I showed myself every team call, I think. And again, I realized the importance of having some technical systems. So no matter what part of the business you're at, always be creating for expansion, okay? I suggest you don't just think, oh, how can I support the few customers I have? No, think, how can I support the hundreds of customers I'm going to have soon? You know, think of a system that's really simple, and how am I going to support my customers in a way that I can then duplicate down to my 10 builders that I'm going to be meeting next year, this within the year. You know, be thinking big all the time, because as you create things and you're ready for them, then something that's one of the blocks gone from your head, that when you go out confidently sharing, you know you're ready for whoever's going to come. Okay, so this is again what I'm just having so much more clarity of this time. You know, when I first started the business, there was just no thinking really at all. I didn't even know what I was doing really. You know, in England it was a bit different than America, and Natalie helped us a lot, like online, but she wasn't here in England, and it was just, you know, a bit of fumbling really. And systems is not my strong point. I didn't have any at the time. So now, when you're first starting, the most important system to have is just simple recording your contacts, right? And if you're like me, you might like to even start on paper, and that's okay. And what you want to have in your mind is, okay, where's this going to grow to? I can't be writing on paper. I can't have like cover my whole walls, my whole wallpaper in my house with all these contacts, because that's how many people you're going to find. You want to then think, how can I take this paper? So what am I going to do then? Perhaps an Excel spreadsheet. Then I've just discovered, well, for me, I've heard of it before, but I've decided I'm going to do Flowdesk. And then you can import and upload all your contacts from Excel into Flowdesk when you want to expand and start doing kind of workflows where you can automate emails, you know, those kind of things that I'm now working on. So that you're doing your systems, and they're always in a place that can expand to the next stage when you're ready. You know, you don't need everything in place when you first start, absolutely not. And I would suggest you don't. And you can use your upline support, all the resources they have. And it's a balance, as our incredible speaker 2 weeks ago, Matt Hall, spoke about. You know, if you really want to be a leader, if that is part of your vision, and it might not be yours, and it doesn't have to be yours, right? You could be someone that doesn't want to have a big team that you have to lead. You could be someone that, you know, wants to pay for your oils, or wants to have a little team, and that's lovely. You don't want a massive team. And if you do decide you want to be a leader and you want to have a big team, there does come a point when you want to be more independent with your systems as well. However, it's a balance, because there's no point just repeating things that you can use from your upline, and they'll give them to you to then use as well. So don't go and spend time thinking you have to do everything and recreate everything. So simple systems that you want to be always kind of making sure you have. And from the beginning, you know, it's not something to think of straight away. Just get your recording contacts if you're at the very beginning. And then you want to expand into thinking, okay, and the system could just simply be, doesn't have to be a technical thing. Like, what do I do when someone is interested? Like, what would I say in the street? You know, just working out what you would say. How would you strike up the conversation? And if they say they're interested, what do you then do? Do you share, are you on Instagram? Do you share your Instagram with them? Do you just simply take an email from them? Do you take a WhatsApp? Do you offer a sample? You know, what is your system, so that when it happens, you're so confident, you don't have to think about it. It comes out naturally, rather than you find yourself, you're in the conversation and then you're trying to think, oh, what do I do next? Then it doesn't come across naturally. And then those other things as well that I've written up there. You want to have like an idea, what do you do when someone comes to a class and they haven't bought? What is your system? Get ready. If you haven't got builders, get ready to train your builders. What is your system to bring on new people? What is that going to be? What does it look like? What does that first call look like? Have these things. That's the next thing. And then we come to the final thing, which I'm going to speak about just for a couple of minutes. And then I've got my final guest, Anna, that I've also invited to talk on this. I'm going to have a drink. Work on you for you. How often do we do things for others, right? And we feel like we shouldn't invest in ourselves, whether it's time, money, just even thinking about ourselves. We feel like that can be a bit selfish. I definitely have thought those thoughts before. So I'm going to move this photo out of the way. Oops. If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you have to give is that of your own self-transformation. So this is something that I have really, really come to realize, as you start sharing more, it seems that your own limitations come up more. Your own perhaps weaknesses, and maybe it's your ego trying to stop you and just keep you in that comfort place. But truly, if you want to really make a difference and shine in this world and be the best that you can offer this world, then you need to offer yourself the same first, right? You need to free yourself from your own limiting thoughts, from your own mind, from anything that's holding you back. And I just want to share, this is just really raw things that I just put there. Not very, well, can't think of the word perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist when it comes to these kinds of things. So I'm sure some of you could do some lovely, beautiful displays. But the point is that every morning when I wake up, this is what I look at. These are the things that hit me. Because it's often in the morning, right? When you're feeling, sometimes you have to like reset yourself and get yourself into the zone. Now, this has been a journey for me. So this is just what I tell myself. These are the things, my why, my goals for 2023. This has been a complete journey for me, and it's been huge. Like the last kind of few years, like I said, I really, well, since doing doTERRA, I've really uncovered a lot of things that have come up, and I've been working on them. I've been improving as a person. And then this last kind of year, I feel like I've been on an accelerated course that has made such a massive impact. Like it's changed the way I am as a mum, as a wife, as a person, as how I view my business now and how I want to create moving forwards. And it's brought me a lot more peace, and I'd say more like freed me from my mind and my own limiting thoughts. And it's just a huge thing. And it's just something that I think now is so important. So working on you is, I believe now, the most important thing you can do for yourself and your business. And it's going to make the biggest impact on your business. And, it has been something I've been doing since the beginning. You start with the Slight Edge, that book. And if you're a new person, that's where you definitely want to start, and spending at least half an hour a day on that. And then, you progress into other things. And Nathan and I went on this incredible event, the Game Changers, that Natalie spoke about at the beginning. And it was just an absolute game changer, a life-changing course for me. And we came out of it just thinking, this is what we need to offer doTERRA UK. This is what we can't really give to people. And it's one of the other greatest gifts I want to give to someone. I share the oils because I'm so passionate about that. And now, like, helping people to find a way to overcome your limiting thoughts is just a huge gift that I think now. And what I learned in that one weekend was what would have taken me at least 5, maybe 10 years to uncover about myself. And I wish I'd had something like that about the beginning time of my business. So I wanted Anna to just come and share now a little bit about, you know, mindset and how working on you is the best thing from her experience as well. So Anna.
Thanks, Bex. I've unmuted.
Okay,
I just get chatting?
You just get chatting. I'm going to find you and pin you.
So much of what you've said, and particularly in the last few minutes, has literally got my heart racing. Now, I'm someone that has lived with anxiety for years, probably decades, and I would have previously seen that as anxiety, but I now know that that is literally when my heart is on fire. My heart is so full of energy. And if it wasn't for the work that I had committed to doing on myself, definitely in the last 6 or 7 months, then I wouldn't be able to say that, and I wouldn't be making the ridiculous changes that I'm making in my business. So I'm going to backtrack a bit. My background is sales and marketing. I have set up businesses. I've been a consultant for retail businesses. I had my second son. I decided that I didn't want to do that anymore. And I liked oils and I liked flowers and I liked plants. And I thought, well, I'll give this a go. This is just another business that I can do. Little did I know what a heart-led business meant, what being a heart-centered entrepreneur meant. I've always been quite obsessed by personal development, by continuous improvement. I worked for a while with Toyota cars. My background is as a marketing consultant is working with the automotive trade. And Toyota have a phrase called Kaizen, which is continuous improvement. And it's something that really struck me that I hadn't identified that in myself. So I was always reading books. I was very curious, and part of that came because I didn't feel like I'd managed my emotions very well in the workplace. So just giving you a bit of a background of being quite a driven, quite a creative, quite entrepreneurial person, stepping into yet another business where I've got lots of drive, lots of passion, and the wheels fell off totally. I'll be completely honest with you. I did not go at the pace I wanted to go. It was not as comfortable as I thought it was going to be. And yet it was the biggest awakening for me. I now do not see that I have a business me and a home me. I have one me. I am the same person. I only use one Instagram now. I literally spend my entire day based on what I now call my mission and my vision. And that's only a very recent thing to me. So Bex has mentioned Game Changers, which I also went on in November. And right up to the night before I got in the car and drove there, I didn't want to go. And I've never told anyone that. I had a massive block about it. I didn't want to get in the room. I did not want to be there. Part of me wanted to do it and I knew the value, but part of me really didn't want to do it. And I now recognize that in myself. I see those blocks. What being in that room and what this continued focus on continuous improvement has given me, I walked out of that room knowing that peace and gratitude was something that I wanted to work on. I'm a reforming perfectionist. I'm an absolute doer. As both Natalie and Bex have said, if you give me something to do, I'll get it done. I'll get it done half the time you want it done and it'll have bells on. But I realized in my previous job, in my previous work, that just runs you into the ground. And then as Bex has said, you are not attracting the energy. You're not emitting the energy. You're not loving life. As I've said, I've lived with anxiety, which has changed my personality. It's got the better of me. It's stopped me wanting to do the things that I want to do in my life, let alone in my business. I now catch myself with my self-talk. I challenge anyone I hear using the word should, and I make them consider whether they want to say want, and if they don't, then they need to rethink it, because I truly do not believe that we are here to compare ourselves to anyone. There is such a difference between being inspired by something and comparing yourself to something. And there's a very, very different energy in it. I get up stupidly early. I was never someone that did mornings. I started on a health and fitness journey about 5 years ago and got up and did early morning circuits. I now get up an hour earlier than that. I'm totally unrecognizable to all of my friends who still think I'm crazy. I get up at stupid o'clock when no one's in the house, and now it's summer. I go and stand on the grass to ground myself. I have at least an hour of me time. Now, for me, that involves cacao, that involves crystals some days, that always involves oils, and it will involve a form of gratitude that I've named Gratitude 2.0, which is thanks to Devon Banderson. I thought I'd learned gratitude about 2 years ago, and it became part of my daily practice, and it has completely shifted my self-talk, completely shifted. I have a very creative mind, and I found it far too easy to spiral down, as I would call it, into negative thought patterns. That doesn't happen with me now. I'm able to short circuit that and stop it. And a lot of that is because of the space that I give myself. I find space in my day. And when I hear people say to me, oh, I wish it's all right for you because you've got more time. I used to say that. I stood up in Marlow and I talked about the blocks for me, which were network marketing. I used to hate it. Time, I didn't think I had enough of it. I have a 3 and a 7-year-old. I don't have any childcare after school. And I now truly believe that the most exciting and special things happen in my business in the magic moments in between. Yes, I sit at this desk and I plan, but I'll give you an example. Just before I finish of what happened today. So I took part in a call with my coach last week, and I'm having a really, really emotionally tricky time with my family, with my parents. My mum lives with dementia, and she's getting to a really, really tricky stage. So in terms of my emotional load, I'm up here. And thanks to the daily practices that I have, the space, the time, the respect that I give to myself, the self-talk that I've changed, the continuous improvement that I have, I'm able to pivot that energy and turn it into my mission and my vision. So the call I had last week with Jess, it was hugely, hugely emotional for me. And she's talked about collapsing time and space before. Yeah, I didn't really get it. She's talked about being and not doing. And again, as a reforming perfectionist and as a doer, I'm like, yeah, I get it, but when am I going to get the stuff done? Like, how am I going to get the stuff done if I'm wafting around being? And then I did waft around and be. I had a really, really emotionally charged day. And the next day, I had so much to do for an event that I'm organising. And I went to the spa. I wafted off and I had a massage and I sat in the steam room. And as I sat in that steam room, I had the best ideas for how to promote this event that only I had sold 1 ticket for. And previous to going wafting off to the spa, I was in this negative thought pattern about, berating myself. So rather than sitting and doing in this spot, I went off and I got into the right energy. And again, this practice today, I'm just going to one very last thing. So I needed to go for an optician's appointment today. Huge thing here to do with clarity for me, because that's been a huge, huge benefit as someone with a really creative, busy mind. A streamlining of vision, a streamlining of what's right and what feels right for me and what I want and not what I think I should be doing has been huge. So it's not a coincidence that I was going to have a contact lens fitting check for me. So clarity. Before I drove home to come here and work for the day, I thought I'd pop a poster up for my event at the weekend. Completely randomly, had them with me, went to a beautiful riverside, wandered past a brand new bakery, wasn't expecting to find that bakery, but I bought some beautiful things for a date lunch that me and my husband have on a Monday. Didn't used to do that, we've just started doing it. As I'm driving home, because I'm in this awesome energy, I can see really clearly, I've put a poster up for my event I wasn't expecting, I've got gorgeous treats for my date lunch that I wasn't expecting. In a 20-minute journey, I saw this film, this clear, this campaign, this program that's been in my head since May that I haven't been able to work through, and it just came through, bang, 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 bang. So I came in, sat down, wrote it, did the graphics, launched it within 2 hours. That is what the last 7 months of making time for myself, getting up early, saying no to things, removing responsibility, not going to places I don't want to, not saying should. If I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. Okay, slight caveat, I have children. They still live with me. I'm married, but you know, responsibilities, vision, get clear. The clearer you are, the more space you have in your head, the better the stuff comes in, the more your energy is just buzzing. And one last thing, sorry, as I was out buzzing at convention, I didn't know someone had been watching my Instagram for a couple of months. She messaged me afterwards and she was like, I want to join you. I want to be in your team. I want your energy. I want that. That just exploded my mind, and it just proved to me that by slowing down as a reforming perfectionist, as a doer, by slowing down and creating space and getting really clear, matching your energy to what you want, it's life changing, life affirming when things get tricky.
Amazing.
I'll stop talking now.
That's amazing. Thanks for moving pin. Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you. So you know what we're trying to share, and hopefully you're getting, is that when you take time to do things for you, you become magnetic. You become that inspiring person that attracts people to your message. You know, whatever your message is, people want to hear it because of who you're being. So thank you so much, Natalie, at the beginning of the call for starting us off. Thank you so much, Anna, at the end of the call, for finishing us off so nicely. I'm just going to share one last slide before you all go. So basically, do what feels good to you. Do what you're pulled towards to help with your journey, with your personal development. And there's different stages that you'll be attracted to different things, right? Do what's good for you. So with this game changer thing that we did, we weren't going to do it again because, you know, it's responsibility to put it on, and everyone there just loved it so much. And we really, Nathan and I came out of it just very emotional of the impact. Watching others go through it is even better than you. Like when you share the oils with someone and you see them have this incredible experience, it was just amazing to be in that room with others, and we got convinced to put it on again. So we're going to do it one more time this November. I'm not sure we'll do it again after that. We'll see what the demand is like. But Devon has agreed to do it this time in November. So if you want to find out any more about it, I mean, look Devon Banderson up online. He's an incredible coach, changing lives all the time. And this is the thing that I chose. Well, I didn't choose. Someone told me to go, and I trusted them and went. Nathan was very resistant to begin with, and he ended up loving it. And then we've just shared it with people we love, and it might call to you, it might not, and that's okay. If you want to learn more about it, those that went on it last year are going to come on a call on Wednesday the 19th, and we're going to put an extra team call in at 7 p.m. on Silver Blossom, so you can ask any questions and just hear from people that have been on it, and then you can decide if it's something that you or maybe someone else in doTERRA that you know. We're keeping it to doTERRA people because we've got that common connection as well. So that is the end of the team call tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on, and especially for Natalie and Anna for sharing so perfectly from your hearts. Yeah, have an amazing couple of weeks until we see you on our guest call with Melody, Presidential Diamond from Hungary. Thank you. I'm just going to have a look at your chat. Lovely.
Thanks, Becky.
Oh, thank you. You're very welcome.
Night, everyone.
Seeing if there's any questions. Good night.
Night.
Good night. There we go. Perfect. I'm going to end it now.
Good night. Thank you, Bex.
Bye. So welcome. Bye, everyone.
Bye.